Disney should be freaking out, and the Marvel MCU efforts to save Deadpool and Wolverine might be already underway. Today, we're talking about Blake Lively and her lawsuit against one Mr. Baldoni. Unfortunately for Disney, it could have an Amber Heard effect that imperils Ryan Reynolds and what he can do with the MCU going forward. We'll tell you why billions are at stake and nobody is winning the game Blake Lively is playing. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the channel that is never in fear of covering any topic. Whenever entertainment is near, we go straight to it. Like sunlight on a swimming pool, we are here to expose what's really going on. And folks, we're here to tell you that Amber Heard 2.0 could be happening to Disney. They watched as the pirates were sent off the poop deck. Walk the plank, pirates. Sorry, Johnny Depp. Now it could be happening again to Marvel and to Ryan Reynolds. We'll explain why. It's not exactly the same, but boy, it sure is starting to look like Disney might not be flying high with what's happening with a lawsuit between their biggest, perhaps, stars and his wife. From Jeremy Knopf, says, I'm pretty certain that the Blake Lively PR crisis has killed both her and Ryan Reynolds' careers. Justin Baldoni came with receipts to deliver an absolute kill shot. Now, we got to talk about what this is, so let me give the intro for it. Blake Lively is alleging that someone that she worked with, Justin Baldoni, on a film that might not have been well received, that he acted very inappropriately towards her. The allegations are reminiscent of the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp kind of stuff, although limited to the fact that they only worked together. They were not partners in any kind of romantic way. The allegations, though, come in the form of a very strange scenario. And that is that she's essentially claiming that Baldoni was acting with her in a scene and that he, in an intimate scene, acted in an intimate way that was not wanted, and therefore he should be essentially liable and eliminated from Hollywood. The problem is that Baldoni now, and we can't, folks, I wish I could show you. All I can show you is right down here at the very bottom, just barely. The clip has been released. It's exclusive on Daily Mail. I can't show it because it may be.
I watched it. I'll tell you. And I don't know why I watched it, because I don't care about these two fighting in the initial sense of this, but it is two people that appear to be having a pretty good time in a professional setting as they pretend to be lovers. It's, I mean, sorry, Pro, you probably were going somewhere here.
Well, I watched it because I covered it for the website, and yeah, it's perfectly professional. They're just trying to make it look like that, they're talking over a scene where they're not going to be heard. And she actually says some like pretty messed up things to him.
So here's the deal. She came out, and this might be the end of Me Too. Like, we may have finally reached that. She came out, made these allegations. Now he's put out the full video. We can't show it because it's pre-production stuff. So it's owned by a company. So we can't show it, but it's out there. And we could get into the catfight stuff. We could assess the legality, and we could assess, what the likelihood is. That's not really where I want to go today. Let's do this instead. Going to Daily Mail, I want to show you how ugly this is getting. Out of the Daily Mail, it says, Gossip Girl actress claims unpleasant Blake Lively would burp and fart between takes and talk down to others on set as fallout from Justin Baldoni feud continues. Now, I'm not going to sit here and read whether or not Blake Lively flatulates around others, but I want you to know that it's getting ugly. And the reason I want you to know it's getting ugly is because Blake Lively doesn't matter to this channel enough for us to cover her as a solo kind of topic, but her husband is Deadpool. And I don't know if you all saw, but Deadpool and Wolverine has pretty much been the only thing that's worked for Marvel in the past 12 months. So when I start seeing these kinds of things out of Skep Chick by Rebecca Watson, you're being manipulated to hate Blake Lively, just like Amber Heard. Oh. We don't have to watch it. We don't have to read it. I can just tell you that if you're Blake Lively and you're being associated with Amber Heard, you don't want to be there. Hey, even more importantly, if you're Ryan Reynolds and you're Disney and this woman is going after a guy who has the video evidence and it's out there and she's not relinquishing, she's not backing down. If you're Disney and you're Ryan Reynolds, but especially if you're Disney, you really don't want this to come out there and slime Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, because you really, really don't need this to happen. And why do you not need it to happen? Because you already tanked Pirates of the Caribbean over this crap. You want to tank the entire Marvel film franchise too? Because Ryan Reynolds is going to be associated with Amber Heard 2.0? I don't know what the legality is exactly. I can't tell you what happened behind the scenes. I can just tell you that the video evidence is out there and people are taking sides. And all I can tell you is there's a whole heck of a lot on the line in the PR realm for Disney and Ryan Reynolds' career and all the money that's being made if this turns into something. And if there was a video out there that showed him mistreating her, I'm full blown on her side. That's inappropriate. The problem is the videos are coming out now, and it's hard for me to look at it and go, yeah, he's definitely doing something wrong. Instead, I look at it and say, uh-oh, it might be Amber Heard 2.0. Panel, what do you say?
I think you're absolutely right. Well, at least for one good thing we can all learn is from what we've just learned about Blake Lively and what she does between takes, DC, I'm sure, is going to cast her as Harley Quinn any minute now. But one-liners aside, I've been covering this for the website, and there was this whole thing where Justin Baldoni claimed that the Nice Pool character in Deadpool was based on him, and it was all made to make fun of him and parody him. And at first I was like, oh, come on, buddy. And then I started paying attention to the scene and having to watch it to cover it, and I'm like, wow, Nice Pool might have actually been based on Justin Baldoni. I think they are trying very, very hard to discredit him, to humiliate him, to scare him into stopping. But now, even if she pulls her lawsuit, he's got a $400 million lawsuit against her and a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times for their coverage of this. So this might be a FAFO kind of situation here, guys, because she definitely messed around, and it seems like now she's going to find out.
Yeah, there's a suspicious amount of media interference in this as well. Obviously, the story that you just brought up, Pro, but there's another one that I wanted to throw in here. The Hollywood Reporter is out here, definitely in support of Blake Lively, throwing out stories like this one. Justin Baldoni's lawyer once sued him for allegedly stealing a script from a man with cystic fibrosis. Brian Friedman, who has appeared on Megyn Kelly, I do believe, recently, to talk about this Justin Baldoni thing. So not only that, but Hollywood Reporter is over here saying, what's behind the right-wing support for male feminist Justin Baldoni? Trying very hard to make sure to say that, by the way, you Hollywood people, because this is where they all make their money and decide their next projects. This teeny tiny guy over here, Justin Baldoni, I'm talking from an industry sense because Ryan Reynolds is one of the few bankable stars in Hollywood anymore. They're trying to say that if you support Justin Baldoni, you would be with those right wingers over there. This is the kind of thing where someone is coordinating with at least the Hollywood Reporter and probably more, in my opinion, to try to make it look like Justin Baldoni is probably a Trump supporter or something like that. Which, if you've ever heard Justin Baldoni talk, no, absolutely not. He does. I'm going to say he does not match that stereotype in any way.
He would better fit in with the Blizzard crowd, maybe, Jonas.
Well, if everybody you don't like is a Nazi, it's easy to say that everybody you don't like is a MAGA.
Yeah, I'm going to say that the male feminist aspect here is the one that he is against traditional forms of masculinity. He wants to redefine masculinity. That's the kind of guy that we're talking about here. So yeah, maybe there is a little bit of why is the right wing supporting this, or maybe it's that the right wing is actually open to considering that the media darlings are incorrect.
So let me ask this to Lou, as someone who knows how this plays out and how it works. So Lou, there is a claim that if only there had been an intimacy coordinator, all this could have been solved.
There's a make work job. Who do you get? Here is the problem. And this is true up and down TV, movies, everything. And I've experienced it many times. When people with some talent, but not huge talent, find themselves in a position of great power and making big money, to use an Amber Heard reference, they think their remains don't stink. And therefore they think whatever they think is gospel because, hey, if I wasn't so famous and rich, obviously I am, and therefore what I say matters. These people have a highly, and when you said bankable star, he's a bankable star as Deadpool. Do you really think he's a bankable star in some kind of different role? I'm not so sure. So, look, this is an ugly story. It's a mess. Nobody ever heard of Baldoni before this, and now they are, which is bad for the other side. Probably should have let it go, but I can see her sitting there saying, well, he made things at me, and go get him.
Yep.
As for this whole issue of whether the mini Deadpool character was, who cares?
Right, that one's stupid.
Who cares? That's his pettiness coming back at him for that. It's like, be a bigger guy than that and say, well, as long as they misspell my name right, so to speak. But the problem is that when you have an industry where egos and money are conflated, a lot of money does things to people and makes them think that they can do no wrong. And the thing from Patton, where he talks about how when the Roman conquering generals would come back through the procession in Rome and a slave stood behind them with a wreath over their head, whispering in their ear that all glory is fleeting. These people could use somebody like that.
Yep.
They could use somebody like that.
I love the idea of the guy following Caesar around saying, remember, thou art mortal.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, let me ask Erica real quick, though. Erica, when Amber Heard came out against Johnny Depp, it seemed to me that there was a group of people who they were very quick to believe her in full, defend her, and assume the absolute worst of Johnny Depp simply because he's a male. I don't know that that's going to happen here with this Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni situation. I don't think either one of them by themselves is famous enough to warrant, having a lot of people really track this. So do you think, Erica, that those same Amber Heard fans and simps, will they come to the defense of Blake Lively, or is this just a negative for Ryan Reynolds?
I don't follow either one of them. So this is the first I was hearing of this. And I don't really care. I would say that because they're not the big A-listers. The story will get out somewhat, but maybe not to the magnitude of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. That said, even if it does, because the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp story set such a precedent, I think people maybe are kind of pausing on stories like this, being more careful and not apt to just go with the first side of the story that leaks out first.
Absolutely. And listen, the sentiment that you have is damning for Blake Lively because she needs that kind of PR campaign that Amber Heard had. It didn't save Amber Heard, but it's important if you're going to do this because it might be what saves your career afterwards.
Well, but your career is based first and foremost on, I want to work with you, you're a good performer, and you're not going to give me craziness. Does anybody think that about her anymore? Right. If they thought she was the greatest actress since whoever, would they really say, yeah, but the price you pay for involving with her is not worth the game. Let's get somebody else. The I am not a nut factor is very big in this business, or should be. And good publicity, bad publicity, no matter who you believe, people who have gone out of their way to present themselves to the world as jerks are not going to get hired. And it doesn't, and unless you really want something from Ryan Reynolds and you use that as your price to pay to get him, I can't see hiring her for anything.
And If I'm Ryan Reynolds, if I'm the team behind him, if I'm with Disney, I'm saying, please, we don't need this. Like the amount of money that can be made from Deadpool and from Marvel, it is mountainous compared to this little molehill of whatever this dispute is. If he had done something awful to her, and if that was the allegations, totally different take from me. I'm going to defend women every time I think something has been done wrong, and same thing for guys. But in this case, the allegations and what we're seeing in the video, if I'm Ryan Reynolds, if I'm his team, if I'm Disney, I'm saying we don't need to be involved in this. Let's get out of this.
What if you're Hugh Jackman? The good news is we made you even more famous. The bad news is you're associated with this couple.
Yeah, exactly. And it is time to put a bow on it, for this one, folks, is a gift to everybody who wants to know exactly what's going on in the entertainment industry. And we are so joyful that you were there to receive it. We hope that you had a great time. An attitude of gratitude on this channel every single time you decide to spend time with us. As we get ready to say goodbye, we only ask a few simple things. Click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, and stick it to those algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, so waste not yours. And folks, as you get ready to head out that door, do you have a place on social media that you love to share this sort of thing? Hey, you can make this YouTube video sing by putting it out there for your friends, your family, and for those weirdos who just won't leave you alone. Folks, until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.